Well, spring has sprung here in North Texas. We're excited because that means time to start our seeds. We're actually a little late on getting these seeds started for the year with a few varieties. Some were perfectly on time, some will start in a week or two from now, some in a month from now. It all depends on the variety. So you want to read up on what you need to get started now to get in the ground. The seeds that you need to germinate first and then transplant later, the ones that are easiest to do that. Some you can direct sow into the ground and it's no problem. These seeds right here were packed in 2013, and so it's about time for us to rotate them out of our seed stock. We need to get these guys pulled out of the seed stock, germinated into the garden, so we can bring in our newer seeds next season or later this year, depending on what the crop is. These seeds are wonderful. They're all heirloom seeds, and they're packaged and shipped by the Territorial Seed Company. I've had great luck and great success with this company. They're fantastic to deal with, and I highly recommend them. So you're asking me, well, aren't these seeds too old? No, some of them are. So, say our cucumbers here that have a shelf life of 2 years, stored in a cool, dry place, of course. You may have an attrition rate on these seeds of maybe 30%, maybe 40%. But the rest of those seeds are good. So when you're planting, you always plant a few extra. Maybe you plant, instead of 2 seeds, you plant 4, maybe 5, depending on how old the seeds are. But you don't want to waste seeds. So, it's okay if they all do not germinate. We're going to have plenty to put in the ground here, and we're going to show you what we do to start those seeds, 2 different methods, and then of course the direct sowing is another method, and we do that with things like beets, carrots, parsnips, varieties of vegetables like that. So let's bring you in here. Okay, this is a really handy item for starting seeds. We bought this from Territorial Seed Company, and it's got a tray inside here. Got some perforations in the bottom for the roots to grow down through, and it holds water in the bottom, and it lets the water drain through, which is really important for the seeds to not mold and get waterlogged. What we use are these little peat moss cups. Now, we've got some new ones here, and we've got some ones that we were able to salvage from last year. They rip pretty easily when you're transplanting the seeds because they're wet when you're doing so. That's easier to get out the seeds. But you can salvage quite a few of them. You don't need to just plow through your supply of them without trying to save a few. They're really, really handy and really valuable. So what we do is we take some nice seed starting mix here. And we give it a little water down. That's going to be a little buoyant at first. That's okay. The water will start to soak in. Alright, we've filled our peat moss cups, and as you can see here, some are darker than the other. That's not a shadow. These were filled with a different type of soil. I ran out of our potting mix, and that's okay. I went outside and we had some potted basil that had gone to seed and died back over the winter time. So we had this beautiful, rich soil that was still in there, just waiting for us to use for the seeds. Thankfully we had that because we needed a little bit more. Seed germinator comes with is this this top. It helps keep the moisture in, the humidity up, which is a better growing environment for the seeds. And what we're going to do with this is we're going to place it right inside, in front of our south-facing window, where our citrus trees are growing right now. And that's going to give these guys the sunlight that they need during the day and the warmth that they need during the day to get going. Each variety, these territorial seed packages are nice. They come with some, if you're unfamiliar with them, with the growing depths for each seed type or each variety of vegetable, this gives some really great indications of what the seeds like, what the plants like, how long to germinate, full sun, partial sun, temperatures, and distances between plants, which is very important. So we're going to go ahead and start some of these. I've got some, well, I'll save that one for later. Got some cabbage, got some summer squash, of course some tomatoes, some cucumbers, and some parsnips. These take quite a while to get moving, and they need to be planted fairly early in the season. Even though they're a cold weather crop, we're going to harvest them in the cool weather. The last one here is kale. Now, a lot of people think of kale as a cold weather crop, but I can say from experience, and this is funny that it says this, a great array of Siberian kales. This kale loved the Houston weather, the hot Houston summer weather. It flourished. And in the wintertime, it also flourished. Kale is bulletproof. I had this particular variety planted down there, and it went through an ice storm and shrugged it off. Absolutely fantastic. This is Wild Garden Kales. The little code is KALE360 if you're looking for it. These are phenomenal. They all taste great. There's some Russian red in here. There's some curly leaf. There's a few others that I'm not familiar with, but they're beautiful and they taste good. So let's get going. So what I'm doing here is I'm kind of measuring out how much of each one I want. Our summer squash we don't have many of, so we're only going to do one row. And we have 6, we've got 10 rows, we've got 6 varieties, and we're just going to space them out evenly. I think I'll go, the kale grow quite quick, so I might do one row of the kale as well. Yeah, we'll figure it out as we get moving. So I've got my kale. This is planted about 1/4 inch deep. What I'm going to do is I'm going to plant 3 seeds. I'm going to make a little hole with my finger here. Not too deep, about 1/4 inch. They're really, really tiny. You just drop a couple in. If you hit 4 or 2, no big deal. I'm doing this because of the attrition rate on these older seeds. I'm only going to do 2 normally because kale grows quite large. We've got some cucumbers here. These go down about 1/2 inch. We only have a few of these left. I usually put 2 in each. Well, 1 normally, but since our seeds are a little bit older, again, we're going to go with too. I'm just going to gently cover all of these up, and I'll mark these so I know which varieties where. I know the cucumbers and the kale are in the darker potting soil, or the darker soil from our basil. Okay, all of our seeds are planted in our small pots here, our small peat cup pots, and as you can see I put some of the more rich black soil on the top to hold the moisture down and hold the moisture in. The potting soil that I had for seed starting was a little too dry. It was just kind of flying away, so I just put in some of the more rich soil on the top, and I think that's going to work just perfect in holding the moisture down. So another way you can start seeds is in a paper towel. You only do this for certain varieties. Usually this works best for corn or larger seeds such as squashes, watermelons, so on and so forth. Since I planted my squash there, which I think for me is the right thing to do right now, I will just demonstrate here with the remaining few parsnips that I have left. What you want to do is just fold paper towel over. You need a plastic bag, and you are going to slide these right in here and make just essentially a mini greenhouse. And you're going to wet this towel down, not super wet, just damp. So the whole towel is moist, but it's not floating or swimming in water. All right, and we're going to leave a little bit of air in here. It'll act as a mini greenhouse, and we'll put that out in the sun as well. We're going to button this up. Now, as soon as these start to come up, they'll all germinate at different rates. I will start transferring them to these larger cups, and that's where they're going to grow the rest of the way before we transplant them into the ground in the garden, or in this case, I'm helping a friend out and starting their seeds as well, because they're about to have a baby. So we're helping them out. We're getting their garden rolling for them and getting the stuff in the ground for them, and hopefully that'll help them out. Thank you guys for watching. This is always fun to do, and it's really exciting to see the fruits of your labor. These things will start sprouting up in just a few days, and it's just an amazing thing to see that little seed spring to life.
I hope you're as excited for spring as I am. Thank you for sharing this experience with us. We appreciate you being here as always. Please hit the subscribe button to subscribe to our channel, and give us a like or a thumbs up. That really helps out, and we appreciate it. Click on the video on the right hand side of the screen to see our review of the Marbles Small Camp Packs. Thank you. Have a great day.